In the middle of the night, one spark turned a sleeping city into an inferno that would burn for 4 straight days. This is London, September 1666, a city of wood, straw, and secrets, still recovering from a plague that had killed thousands the year before. It began in a small bakery on Pudding Lane, owned by Thomas Farriner, the king's own baker. A dying ember in his oven was all it took. Flames leapt from the bakery to the stables next door, then to the stacked wooden houses crowding the narrow street. The fire had found its fuel. Lord Mayor Thomas Bloodworth was woken and told to act. He looked at the flames and dismissed them, saying a woman could piss it out. He was wrong. Fanned by strong east winds, the fire raced toward the warehouses along Thames Street, packed with oil, tallow, and coal. Explosions of burning fuel sent flames leaping across rooftops. Panicked families dragged belongings toward the river, but the boats could not carry everyone. King Charles II rode into the chaos himself. He ordered his brother, James, Duke of York, to take direct command of the firefight. With no fire brigade to call, men used gunpowder to blow up entire rows of houses, tearing gaps into the city to starve the flames. But it was too late for one target. The flames were closing in on St. Paul's Cathedral, a building everyone believed could never burn.
Diarist Samuel Pepys climbed the Tower of London to see the destruction. What he saw convinced him this was the greatest fire he had ever seen. Pepys rushed to Whitehall to warn the king directly, telling him that unless houses were pulled down, nothing could stop the flames from reaching the palace itself. By the second day, the fire had grown into a firestorm of its own, generating winds so strong they hurled burning debris across entire streets. Molten lead poured from the roof of St. Paul's like liquid metal, and the great stones of the cathedral cracked and exploded from the intense heat. Thousands of refugees crowded into open fields at Moorfields, watching their city burn from a distance, uncertain if anything would remain. Rumors spread through the panicked crowds that foreign agents or Catholic conspirators had started the fire deliberately, and mobs began attacking innocent foreigners. A French watchmaker named Robert Hubert was seized by the crowd, accused of starting the fire, though he had not even been in London when it began. By the third day, the wind finally began to weaken, giving exhausted firefighters and soldiers their first real chance to gain control. Fire breaks created by gunpowder demolitions finally started to work, starving the flames of fuel street by street across the ruined city. On the fourth day, the fire was finally declared out, leaving behind a smoking wasteland where a thriving city once stood.
The numbers were staggering. Over 13,000 houses destroyed, 87 parish churches gone, and roughly 100,000 people left homeless. Yet officially, only 6 deaths were recorded. Historians believe the true number was far higher, hidden among the poor whose deaths went unrecorded. Robert Hubert, the innocent watchmaker, was tried, convicted, and hanged for a crime historians now agree he could not have committed. King Charles II walked through the ashes himself, promising his people that London would rise again, stronger than before. Architect Christopher Wren proposed a radical new design for the city, wide boulevards and stone buildings replacing the tangled wooden streets of old London. Property disputes and the sheer scale of destruction made Wren's grand plan impossible, and London was rebuilt largely along its old medieval street pattern. New laws demanded brick and stone instead of timber, forever changing the way London's buildings would be constructed. Christopher Wren was given the greatest task of his life, designing a new St. Paul's Cathedral to rise from the ashes of the old one. It took 35 years to complete, but Wren's masterpiece became the crowning symbol of London's rebirth from disaster. Today, the monument to the Great Fire still stands near Pudding Lane, a stone reminder of the 4 days that reshaped a city forever.